It was a cold autumn evening when my sister Ellie and I missed our usual ride home and had to take the last bus of the night. The streets were already quiet, lit only by flickering streetlights. We were the only ones waiting at the stop, and the silence around us felt heavier than usual. When the bus finally arrived, its headlights cutting through the darkness, it hissed to a stop and opened its doors with a wheeze. We got on, thanked the driver, and headed toward the back. The only other passenger was an older man sleeping with his head against the window near the front. Ellie and I took seats near the rear, whispering about school and laughing softly to break the tension of the eerie ride. Everything seemed fine until the third stop. The bus came to a halt again, but no one boarded at first. Then, from the shadows, a tall man stepped onto the bus. He wore a gray hoodie pulled low over his face, tattered jeans, and old work boots. He didn't pay the fare. He didn't say a word. He just walked slowly down the aisle as if he were counting each step. He sat right across from us. At first, I didn't look up, but Ellie nudged me. "He's staring at us," she whispered. I glanced his way, and she was right. His face was pale, eyes wide open, unblinking. There was something unnatural about the way he sat, too still, like he was waiting for something. Trying not to panic, I pulled out my phone, but of course, there was no signal. We were driving through the outer edges of town, a stretch of road surrounded by trees and shadows. Then, out of nowhere, the man leaned forward and whispered, "You live near the woods, don't you?" My heart dropped. I didn't answer. Instead, I turned to Ellie and told her to put her headphones on. I kept my eyes on him as he slowly stood up and walked toward the front. I thought he might be getting off, but he stopped beside the driver and began murmuring something. I couldn't hear, but the driver's eyes darted to the rearview mirror. Suddenly, the man yanked the emergency brake. The bus jerked violently, and the sleeping man at the front snapped awake. "What are you doing?" the driver shouted. The man didn't respond. He turned back and started walking toward us again. That's when I saw it. His hand dipped into his coat pocket, and he pulled out a folding knife. He wasn't holding it in a threatening way, but the sight of it was enough to make my blood freeze. Ellie clutched my arm. "We have to get off," she whispered. The driver was already calling the police, yelling into the radio. The man's eyes scanned us again, and he said softly, "They come through the trees. I've seen them take people. You need to stay off this road tonight." Then he smiled. There was no way I was going to sit and find out what he meant. I grabbed Ellie's hand and pulled her toward the emergency exit. The driver, noticing what we were doing, hit the release for the back doors, and they hissed open. We ran into the night, not stopping until we reached the edge of the next neighborhood. Minutes later, flashing red and blue lights lit up the road. Police swarmed the bus, shouting commands. We watched from behind a parked car. The man didn't resist. He dropped the knife and surrendered calmly. We later learned that he had escaped from a mental health facility 2 towns away. He'd been missing for 3 nights. The strangest part came a few days later. The police, following his claims about people in the woods, searched the surrounding area and found the remains of 2 missing hikers. To this day, I don't know if he was dangerous or trying to protect us from something worse. But sometimes the scariest part isn't what you see. It's what you almost didn't